Well, hi, welcome to Senior Travel Adventures. I'm Debbie. I'm so excited to have this show and share all these fun things. We talk about travel tips, tricks, safety, and then we share our trips with each other where I bring in different guests and they talk about the great travels that they've taken. And then we have our segment in our backyard where I talk about travel locally and in the state of California. So thank you for joining me today and stay tuned.
Seniors fear running out of money more than death itself, and the number one mistake you can make is underestimating volatility, which can derail your retirement. For 35 years now, I've coached seniors to financial independence by using two simple rules: never take big losses and create income along the way. It's your financial future. Call now to get a free risk analysis to ensure your investments are protected, and we'll send you our Safer Money System. 949-219-0692.
Well, welcome back to Senior Travel Adventures, and I have a guest with me that we've seen before. This is Monique Kiefner, and she's going to talk today about her trip to Alaska, and we're going to share some of her wonderful photos. So thank you for joining me, Monique.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
No problem. You know, you get to take some great trips. Monique's a travel advisor, so she gets to go on a lot of really fun trips, and I've gotten to enjoy some of her pictures, so we're going to share some today. So tell me a little bit about, you did a land and a cruise, right?
Yes, I did a land cruise tour, Alaska, with Princess Cruise Lines.
Okay.
So we started with the land portion for 4 days, and then we did a train ride to the port, and then got on the ship.
Okay, and did you go out of the port in Whittier?
Yes,
okay.
we did.
Okay. Yeah, I did a day tour to see glaciers, and we started in Whittier. It was very beautiful.
Yes, it
well, let's take a look at these pictures. So, my goodness, that's a beautiful shot. What is that? What are we looking at now?
That is going out of Whittier, starting our cruise. You're going to see a lot of land as you are cruising. It's not like you're out in the middle of the ocean with Alaska. Sometimes you are, but most of the time you're going to have land and you're going to have the glaciers there and the mountains behind it.
Right. Well, I'm impressed because I went in August, and that I went in August, and there wasn't that much snow, but the glaciers were still really great. So look at this glacier. I'm a glacier fan. I know a lot of my audience has heard me talk about glaciers before, and I even have some of my videos on that have glaciers, but look at that. It's spectacular. I think one of the things that struck me was color. Mm-hmm. The color is amazing when you're there, and even pictures don't really do the color justice of these magnificent, magnificent, and they're huge. Yeah. So this picture we're looking at are some beautiful trees with some of those luxurious mountains in the background.
Yes.
Where would you know approximately where you were for that one?
I was taking that off the train.
Oh.
So that was when we left to go up to get on the cruise.
Okay.
So that was amazing. I was able to get a nice shot with the window and not much reflection. But
right.
Yeah.
That's one of the things when I've been on tours, buses and things, getting pictures without the reflection is really a challenge. So did you leave Anchorage to go to Whittier? We
started the tour in Anchorage.
Okay.
Yes. And then we went up to Denali. That's where we ended the cruise, the tour portion.
Okay.
Then we got the train from Denali, and then that's where we went to Whittier.
Okay, all right. Look at that. Now we're showing just some of the mountains and the clouds and the sea. So that was obviously you were already on the cruise at this point. Mm-hmm. All right, yeah, so that's really nice. That looks like, I think this is where you stayed, right?
No, actually
no,
that one.
You didn't get to stay there.
That one is at the Denali Lodge. Mm-hmm. And if you ever heard of Treehouse Masters, I don't know if anybody has seen that show, but that is actually a treehouse.
Oh my
goodness.
goodness.
And that is what he built. Mm-hmm. And you got to go in the treehouse, and then you can see Mount McKinley on a clear day, which we did, which was amazing. But that's the entrance into the treehouse.
Okay. Oh, that looks like a lot of fun.
It's beautiful.
Oh my goodness, look at this shot. I was struck when I was there with the clouds and the sky and the water. That's just beautiful.
Yes.
And that was you took this from land though, right?
Yes, this one was part of the land tour.
Okay.
So,
All
yes.
right. So that's beautiful. All right. Oh, more of the beautiful sea.
Yeah,
Oh my
same
goodness. So nice. Oh my goodness. Oops, let me.
Yep.
Oh. That one is okay. So that was some type of river. So were you on the train for that one?
No, that one was when I was the previous slide you had. I was on land, and I just took a picture
Let's look
of
back
the
at that
river,
one.
the lake.
Okay.
And then I walked a few steps, and there was this beautiful river.
Oh my gosh, look at
Yeah.
that. And so you were there though, not in the winter time. And so
No.
this is in Alaska for the audience. Most of the time there is snow available in Alaska, although some months do get warm. One of our tour guides told us September was a really good month to go there.
Yes.
But did you see mosquitoes the size of a truck?
You know what? I was there in May.
Okay.
I was the early part of the season. And yeah, there was a few mosquitoes. When you're by the river, of course, it attracts the mosquitoes.
Okay.
The summer tends to be a little worse for mosquitoes. Always bring repellent.
Okay.
That is the key. And I'm just a magnet. They love my blood. So I didn't have a hard time this time, though.
I've lately, we've gotten, California didn't used to have the number of mosquitoes that we have now, and I'm a magnet as well. So that's why I ask about mosquitoes,
Yeah.
because I'm not a fan. All right, well, let's take a look. Oh, but here you go. Here's the contrast. At the same time of year, you're seeing the ice, you're seeing the beauty, and now you're seeing these beautiful green and lush trees with just a hint of the snow in the background. That's pretty spectacular. There we go, back to the glaciers again. The blue is magnificent. So when you were on the ship, they went into the Glacier Bay. Was that Glacier
Yes,
Bay?
yes.
Okay, because that's where I went on my day tour.
Yes.
And there were 26 different glaciers.
Yes, there's so many.
So if you're considering going to Alaska, when you're considering the tour that you want to take, make sure that if you want to see glaciers like this, there are specific cruises that only go into Glacier Bay. But otherwise, you won't really get to see all this beauty like this. And there's your cruise ship off in the distance.
Yeah, I believe that was at Ketchikan. There was a trail I took, a hiking trail, and
That's
that
right.
was the view from the trail.
Yeah, so I want to mention that too because, most cruises have excursions, but, you can always go off and do your own thing. But yeah, you definitely want to, see what you can if you can while you're there. And sometimes the excursions are great, but they could be limited.
Yes.
And oh, wow, that's really cool. So where you were on the...
That was the train, and that was coming into Whittier. And I
Okay.
wish I was able to be in the front of the train to get out of the tunnel, because you go through a tunnel, it's dark, and then the tunnel opens up and you see the ship and the beauty of what you see here. But I wasn't able to capture that. I was just able to get a snapshot through the window of the train.
But I like that you're showing the train too, because for the audience, that shows how visual you can get from the train. These trains are built for the tourism and to be able to see all these the beauty of the nature around you.
Yes.
So that's great. So now we're gonna go where there might be some giant moose. Do not approach. Tell me
No.
about that.
There's walking trails. This was at the lodge.
Okay.
And where the treehouse was. That was
Okay.
on the way to the treehouse. So there's moose everywhere, and they are huge. And if you get too close to them and they have a baby with them, they will attack you. So you really have got to be careful when
So
you're
this
walking
sign
around.
is very, very important.
Yes.
Pay attention to
Yes.
the sign. But you don't have to be aware of this moose because she's just pretending to be
Yes,
one.
yeah, that was one of our stops that we went to. We got to walk down a trail. And
Are you holding the antlers?
Yeah, it was the antlers.
Are they heavy?
Well, there was one set that I couldn't hold because they were huge. That
Okay.
one I could because it wasn't as heavy, but the other set was very heavy.
Oh
So,
my goodness. Well, that's pretty cool though, I gotta say. But there you go. She was there in May, so she was wearing a little bit of a
Yes.
jacket. So, there's that beautiful train. This particular railroad, Alaska, they cater to tourism. Alaska is a very big tourist area. That's how they make their money and their living, and it's a short season. You know, normally people are only visiting Alaska from May to, the end of September, and a lot of these little towns along these cruise places, they're actually close up, and they bring in college students to work for the summer. I learned all this on my tour. I learned all about this. Oh my goodness, look at this eagle. That's a great shot. How did you get that one?
Actually, I went on a tour. This was in Skagway, and we went on a whale watching tour, and we weren't seeing many whales, so the eagles are all around there. So the kid on the boat was actually throwing up fish.
Oh, wow.
And the eagles just came and grabbed the fish, and one of the people on the boat with me did a slow motion, not on purpose, but on accident, and he was able to capture this, and it was amazing.
I was going to say, this is an award-winning shot. So for somebody making a mistake with a camera, they have an award-winning shot to see that eagle like that. That is amazing. Oh, that's beautiful.
That's
There's
Mount
another
Denali.
one. Mount Denali. Yep. So again, going back to the beginning of the show, this was a Denali land tour and then the cruise. So we're going to talk a little bit about the land tour. And this was the Wilderness Lodge. This is where you stay.
Yes.
At the Wilderness Lodge. Okay. Well, that's pretty nice. Are there more than one
There was
place?
two. We stayed there. Mount McKinley was one stop, and then the Denali Lodge.
Okay.
So there was two. We stayed one night there, and then Denali was 2 nights.
Oh, look at that. There's everybody on the train pretending that they're a moose. That's pretty cute.
That was our group.
That's really nice. That's great. That's great. Yeah. Look at, but I think as much fun as seeing all of you do that, if you look behind them, you see some incredible beauty.
Yes.
I think that's one of the things that strikes me. I mean, look at this one now. The beauty of Alaska is, where else?
You just can't. I mean, it's just picturesque. And again, that was on the train. That was a train view. So there is so much you can see on the train because you're getting, where the roads aren't.
Okay, so this is Mendenhall Glacier, and this is kind of the glacier that most people see when they go to Alaska if they don't do the glacier-specific cruise. This one is usually a day tour. You go on a bus and you go look at it. And sadly, it's going away.
Yes, it is.
It is getting much, much smaller. When you see it from this perspective, it actually, compared to some of the others I saw, this is actually quite small.
It's receding. It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's receding, and you are able to kayak up to it. That was pretty cool. I didn't get a chance, but and who's this little friend?
That's a state bird. When we did the Denali Park tour in the bus, they will transport you through the park, and that was one of their little state birds.
Oh,
so.
cute. Well, it's not like any bird we've seen here, so that's definitely he's kind of cute. He doesn't know how good he has it living in Alaska, though. Oh, there we go. There's some more.
One of the glaciers.
Yeah, some more glaciers. And I think this is kind of representative of what we think about in Alaska, too. Kind of the contrast between the nature, like the Denali, and going on to Denali and seeing it, and then also the water and the glaciers. And that's off the back of the boat. I can tell that from having been on the boat. I see the water, but
the wake.
The wake. But in May, what was your daytime like? Was it short? It was longer still?
It was early May.
Yeah.
So there was still,
probably 10?
Probably 10, 11 o'clock at night is when it started getting dark, like that sunset picture. I believe 10 or 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, but what a spectacular shot that is. Okay, that's cute. What is this little
That
cabin?
was the treehouse.
That's the treehouse again.
The entrance
okay.
to the treehouse.
We're back to the treehouse. All right. All right, and that's obviously
that was
part
that
of
little building you saw
with the blue bed.
Lodge. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. We're looking at the opposite way. Yeah, I don't think they're probably using that stove now.
No.
Yeah, that looks like a little bit.
It's vintage.
Time. Yeah. More of the beautiful scenery. Yeah. That's beautiful. Just
From
spectacular.
the train again.
It makes me really want to go back and see it. Oh, what's that? That's a tree with some kind of a growth.
Yeah, I did
Mushrooms?
a hike. Yeah, that looked like wild mushrooms.
Yeah, don't eat those.
Don't, no, do not touch, do not just,
There you are. There you are,
Yes.
having a good time.
on the
That's
lake
nice.
again.
Yes, with that beautiful sunset. Oh, look at the water there, the color.
that was that same hike I did. It was a big hike, and you got to see so much terrain, but it was a lake, it was beautiful.
Yeah, I love the color of that. Oh my gosh, that's just beautiful. You know, I know that's another thing. You know, a lot of times those of us in California, you know, we're used to seeing the ocean and it's not colorful. But when you go out on ships, the water is actually quite colorful, pretty much everywhere, really. And so look at this water. So this looks like as you're just sailing, you've got some houses off to there. You know that's kind of the thing you see when you're sailing in Alaska. When you're out in the Inside Passage, when you get closer to a bigger town, you'll see a lot of the houses along the edges there.
It's very expensive. Even the shore excursions are more expensive in Alaska than a Caribbean cruise.
Right.
That's, just the way it is. So.
Yeah, yeah. But again, they all have to make a certain amount of money in a certain amount of time,
Yes.
and getting goods and services until you fly, even flying from California to Alaska, it takes a long time.
does.
You go to, I went to Seattle, and then from Seattle to Anchorage was
Yes.
7 or 8 hours. It was a long time. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
It is. Definitely.
It's definitely worth it. So there's some more of the beauty.
Yep.
Now there's some ice just floating, right?
Yep. Mhm. You're
That
gonna
was the
see
other
that.
thing we saw. Like one biggest of ice that we saw was, it was huge. It was probably, well, the boat captain for our size boat had to maneuver around
yeah.
it, you know. And I've been, and the cruise ships, they don't want to hit those icebergs. Oh, look,
That was,
he's just hanging out on the side of the road. Hey.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, they're all over.
He's pretty
Moose.
cute. They're
Or
just
that's a
right-
reindeer, I'm sorry.
That's a reindeer,
That's the
because look, he
reindeer.
has little...
Caribou is what they call them.
Oh, okay.
Caribou, yeah.
Yeah, because those don't have that same antler look.
Yeah, but he still had the felt on his antlers, so
He was little.
yes, he was still, I guess, adolescent maybe.
Okay, teenager.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But there he, doesn't he know he shouldn't get so close to the road?
They don't care. They just stand there.
Well, they
and they're
have,
fine.
okay, so our bus driver on our tour when we were going to the glaciers, he was telling us there's tremendous fines in Alaska if you kill something
sure.
or hit any
Yes.
wildlife, that's
Yeah.
not acceptable.
It could be fines and jail time.
And jail time.
Yes.
People who live there could face jail
Yes.
time. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
So-
in Denali National Park right there.
Yeah, so you got to be super careful when you're driving because you never know.
No.
Yeah. Oh, that's a lovely shot. That's looking up out of
Yeah.
those beautiful trees on your hike.
I'm a hike.
I'm getting, okay. Talkeetna.
Yeah.
All right, that's a little town, right? I've heard of that.
Yeah.
Right.
It goes through
that's,
Talkeetna.
That's not a coastal town, though.
No.
Yeah,
No.
that's interior. Yeah. Okay. More glacier. We love interspersing the glaciers because
Yes.
they're so beautiful, and we love the water.
Yes.
Oh, that's lovely too.
It's from the train again.
Yeah. And there's the group. They're enjoying themselves at the. Looks like you're
That
at
was
one of the
outside
lodges.
of Talkeetna. That
Okay.
little lodge I showed you with the antlers, that was outside of that.
Okay.
So,
And then I think we're getting close to. Oh, there's another beautiful
yeah, that was on the
shot.
train again, heading out.
And okay, there's more from the hike.
Yep.
We'll go through these pretty quick because we got, okay, that's nice.
Glacier.
Oh, another beautiful sunset.
Yeah.
Oh, and then
Puppies.
there, the puppies. Okay, so these are the sled dogs.
Yes.
And they have a place where they raise them, and you got to go. So you had quite the adventure, though. You got to go to see where they raise these puppies for sled dogs.
Yes.
And not every dog can be a sled dog, though, right?
No,
Okay.
they cannot. This was
Yeah.
in Denali. We were in Denali. It was like a 10-minute bus ride from the lodge. And they had just had a litter of puppies 2 weeks before, and that's what you're seeing on the screen there. So,
So do they, So they raise them, and are there like at this place where there are different age groups of dogs?
It's a camp.
Okay.
It's like a summer camp for dogs. So they bring the dogs there, they train them, they get them used to people, human interaction. That's a big deal. They need to be able to interact with humans well and with other dogs.
Okay.
They have a little treadmill that they run them on. They get them on a ATV. They have an ATV that they pull and they run them.
Oh, wow.
And they just, it's a camp. Just to get them ready for the Iditarod is pretty much what this camp is for.
Okay. You know, these dogs they're very well cared for. They're bred, and this is how they want to live. The dogs, this is what makes them happy as a dog to do these things.
They love it. And when you get there, they are barking and they are so excited to see people. They love to be with people.
Right.
And they love it. They love to run. That is what they are bred to do, is to run.
Right. And to live in the cold.
Yeah. and they will adopt the older ones out, but they will not adopt to Arizona or the hot weather places. You cannot adopt one of those dogs.
Well, yeah, because the thing is that's kind of miserable. They're so, they're used to a cool climate. Yes. Yeah, that's, and Alaskan, the dogs with the blue eyes are like my favorite dog, but it's mean to have them, somewhere where it's hot. So, all right. Well, that was great. I'm so glad that you shared Alaska. So for my audience, we'll put some information up at the end of the screen. My goal on the show is simply to share stories of travels and to make you excited about taking the travel somewhere and to go see the sights of the world. But as this particular trip went, for an older person, this is probably a really good trip for them to take because all the excursions are set for you, and you're on the train or you're on the ship. Yes. There's not a lot of exertion, a lot of strenuous stuff. There's not a lot of walking if you don't want to. Sure. And you get to see all this beauty right there out in front of you. So, all right, well, again, I appreciate you coming. Thanks for coming in today and being in the studio this time instead of on Zoom. Yes. We'll be right back.
Caring Senior Service provides a variety of care services to help seniors age in place. We follow the mantra, when family can't be there, we can. We started our business almost 30 years ago because we realized that seniors in these situations still need loving care. To learn more about how we can help your family, contact us today.
Well, welcome back to the segment in our backyard, and I'm really excited today because I have some people from our own RV wheelers right here in Laguna Woods. I have Leroy Roper and Debbie Byrne, and Debbie's actually been on the show before, but I wanted them to come on and talk about their RV trips in our backyard. So thank you for joining me today. So,
thanks for having us.
So Leroy, tell me a little bit about where you guys are going next, like for the next few months here.
Well, we've got some plans. We'll be heading up north, Ventura, Emma Wood campground for 4 days. That'll be our next trip. And then we've got something set up in September. We'll be going down to Newport Beach. There's an RV park down there that's local. We'll be doing that. So those are the next 2 trips that we have planned with the RV wheelers.
So most of your trips that you take with the RV wheelers are within a couple hours of here, correct?
Yes, the majority of them are local.
All
We
right.
do go far, but most of them we try to stay here. We've gone to Jurupa Valley, San Bernardino, and different places like that.
About how big is your group that goes?
We usually get about maybe 10 to 15 rigs going.
Okay.
So that could be anywhere from 30 to 40 people.
So how long have you been doing this?
I've been in the woods for 10 years. I've been with the RV Wheelers for 8, and I've been vice president of program for I don't know how long, but it's been a while, I'll tell you that.
Were
And
you RVing before you moved here?
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
My wife and I were RVing. We RV'd for a good 30 years. When our son was born,
Okay.
we started RVing back then. So
right.
yeah, we've been RVing for a long time.
Okay, so you're a veteran RV person.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Well,
right.
and I see all these pictures that we're showing on the screen right now, and it all looks like you're always having such a good time.
We really do have a good time. It's a great group. We get together, and really for us, my wife and I, we're kind of the youngsters of the group.
Oh,
The
okay.
majority of the people have been RVing longer than we have and have gone farther. I mean, some of these people have traveled cross country 4 or 5 times already.
Right.
We haven't even done that yet.
Right.
So it's a great group. A lot of information that they give. So anybody who's interested in RVing, it's better than an encyclopedia. These people.
Okay, all right, and we're fortunate, of course, we have the RV storage here,
Right.
and we'll put up information at the end of the show if people are interested in maybe they didn't know that the club existed or whatever. And then I want to ask Debbie, because Debbie travels around in a smaller van, but it's all decked out with her little dog Lexi.
Yes.
And so tell me a little bit about your trips, and you go not just with the RV wheelers, but on other trips, right?
Yeah, I bought my first RV 10 years ago. I was married at the time, and it was a bigger one. But when I became a widow 2 years ago, I wanted to continue to RV, so I bought a small, what's called a Class B van. But it's like a luxury van. It's got television, bathroom, kitchen. It's got everything I could need. And I did a couple trips totally on my own, and I found that it made me a little bit nervous to be out there. Not that I couldn't handle the van, it was more like, what if something happens? So I decided that I would hook up with some groups. So I joined the Laguna Woods RV Club, and I joined another group called RVing Women, and it's a national organization, and they have local chapters.
Okay.
And it's women from all over different kinds of lifestyles, and they don't want to travel alone.
Right.
And so I just got back actually from Pismo Beach.
Right, we're
I
going to
was
show pictures.
up there for 3 nights. And there's a comfort in knowing there's people around. But if I want to take off for the day by myself in the van, then I'm real comfortable doing that. So I take my little dog, and she's good company. She just wouldn't be much help if I had an emergency.
Yeah,
So.
she's not really an attack dog.
No. Well, she can. She's little, but
She thinks she's big.
She thinks she's a big dog. So.
Right. Well, that's amazing about the RV women, because I'm involved with a lot of groups on social media, and I have mad respect for women who can go out and do that on their own.
Right.
And that's what really, that was what I first saw was your pictures, thinking how cool that was. And then I'm going to actually talk to a person over in Georgia, and I think maybe she is a part of that club.
Okay.
So, but I know it's a group of women RVers who also travel, so that's really great. But sounds like you all have a great deal of fun on all these trips.
Oh,
So-
yeah.
We do. We enjoy it.
So thank
fun.
you so much for coming today, and we will put up all the RV club information. They're called the RV Wheelers, and they will have their trips. And so if you're interested in joining them, try it out. And they are venturing as far as Arizona, right?
Arizona,
in next March. So
That's for now. Yeah.
all right. Well, thank you very much for coming.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today on Senior Travel Adventures. It is such fun to do this show. And if you have a trip that you'd like to share with us, please be sure to send it to me. The email will be up on your screen, and maybe we'll see you on the show. So have a great day.